I feel like I need to start off this video by threatening every one of y'all to drink your water. Have you done it? If you haven't figured out by the title of this video and the fact that I just threatened you to drink some water, I'm reading Uncarley's favorite books today. Some of these books that I decided to read today are either from her videos or her highly rated from Goodreads. So I'm excited. I don't know why I sang. So the first book that I'm going to be reading is The Catcher in the Rye, which I feel like suits her. She basically rants about how much she hates a lot of books, which no hate because I love you, big fan. But also this is a book about a boy ranting about his life, so I feel like it kind of fits. The main character in this book is just kicked out of school because he failed 4 out of 5 of his classes. But what I'm trying to say here is that I'm not really surprised that she likes this book. I have already started it, as you can probably see. But also, there's a lot of people that don't like this because it's just a white man complaining, and how many times a day do we have to listen to that? This is the only book that I'm actually physically reading. The other ones I am using my library card to read online. The next book I will be reading is Bluettes by Maggie. My stomach is growling. I get on to you about drinking water, but I did not think to eat before this video. Also, make sure you eat today. Bluettes by Maggie is basically a love story to the color blue. As a graphic designer, also as Carly is, I was really drawn to it for that aspect. This plant is in the way, but it's a vibe. I'm gonna say I'm excited to read all these books. Clearly, well, I'm probably least excited to read The Catcher in the Rye, even though I've already started on it. It does have a really good writing style, but also it's a person complaining, so a lot. And I feel like I do not tend to be a negative person, so this is just not my vibe. I really hate the word vibe, but I use it constantly. The third book that I will be reading for this video is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and it is a book about mental health, as she's pretty much in the same stage of life as me. I just graduated college. I'm in my 20s. I have no idea where I'm going in life. So this might make me really sad. She won some sort of contest to be a model for a while. It involves depression and mental health, and so just trigger warning if you want to read this. But it's basically the story of, my stomach is growling again. Can you hear it? The author that wrote this actually did commit suicide, and so it's kind of like the story of what was going on in her head, which really makes it even more sad. I'm pumped. I'm ready to cry. I really want to read Sally Rooney because she raves about her. Carly loves Sally Rooney, and she will not shut up about it. I have to figure out why Carly loves Sally Rooney. I haven't decided on which book I want to read just yet. I might see what I can get available, because I have a few of them on hold, and I believe Conversations with Friends is close to being ready. I have no idea what that one's about, but we'll figure it out. And it seems like Conversations with Friends is just what the title suggests. Conversations with Friends. Guys, The Catcher in the Rye is what I wish I had to read in high school. But you know what I did read in high school? The Great Gatsby. 5 different times. Give the book a rest. There's so many classics out there that I have not been able to read because I stuck to that one book. Which, like, also, I keep wanting to say iCarly. But also, that's one of Carly's favorite books, and I purposely did not read it for that reason. I'm just tired of it, honestly. God, I think it's overhyped. But I do like this book. This one's good. And I know, like you said, it's a red flag book, but we got red flags all around us. This book is about Holden as he gets kicked out of another school. I went into this book thinking that I was going to hate it because I knew it was about a privileged kid that just hated everything, basically. But I like it. I think it handled mental health really well. The whole reason that Holden thinks everything is phony, I think, is only when it relates to adults. And he has discovered that children are basically the only, like, authentic human beings. Like, everybody else is just phony. Children have their innocence. They're not corrupted by the world yet. The whole time he's just wasting money on anything he can get his hands on. He's not really thinking about the future. It's easy to see why people don't like his character, but I feel like it handles it mental health so well. Because clearly, like, mentally he is not doing well, but men are believed that they shouldn't really show their emotions, and so he keeps it all in, and he shows it in a way that, like, is considered more masculine. It's more masculine. It's more masculine to spend all your money than it is to go see a therapist or to cry, which, I mean, he does cry a few times, but I feel like it is the male version of the bell jar, because in the bell jar, she knows, like, something's not right. But again, she's a girl, and she's grown up knowing more, like, about her emotions and, like, being able to express them more often than guys are. Which, I feel like that is Holden's biggest downfall, is that he doesn't know how to express his emotions, and he doesn't know. The Bell Jar was another one that I read of Carly's favorites, and that one is truly my favorite book. I'm not normally the type of person that cries over books, but that book had me weeping waterfalls. Like, Cry Me a River, I Got You, Justin Timberlake. Like, I cried you a whole entire ocean with this book. I actually read this back when I was still in a dorm, and my roommate was like, why are you reading this if it's making you cry so much? And I was just like, but it's just so good. I felt like I related a lot more to the main character in the Bell Jar, Esther, more than Holden from The Catcher in the Rye. Just because of how we deal with our emotions. And I have no words besides just go read it. Well, read it if you're in the state of mind to read it, because I feel like it could be very triggering for some people. I also read Bluettes by Maggie Nelson, and it was so good. This is basically a love poem to the color blue, which they took it in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was thinking, oh, that she would just, like, start naming off a bunch of stuff that was blue. It's basically a metaphor for somebody that she loved in her lifetime, and not necessarily the color blue, but more of, like, the items that she associates with the color blue that also represents memories that she has with this guy. I also mentioned that I might read a Sally Rooney book. Yeah, so I actually read 2 of them because I liked the first one so much. I read Conversations with Friends, which is about 2 exes that get involved with this married couple. And I think I just love the book just because it's not fantasy, but it's not something I would ever do in my life. So it's kind of, I thought it was really good. I did find that Sally Rooney doesn't use like the quotation marks whenever somebody is speaking, which I find incredibly annoying. I found it annoying because I couldn't tell if somebody was talking or if it was just somebody's thoughts sometimes, which she said a lot, which was another thing. So after Conversations with Friends, I decided to immediately start reading Normal People, which I did not think was as good. It's about 2 friends that are together in high school, but one's popular and then the girl is not popular. But in college, the girl becomes popular and then the guy is not popular. And it just basically shows the dynamic between that relationship as it evolves. I just felt like it wasn't like adding anything to the table as like the relationship progressed. I didn't really like the characters, to be completely honest. I mean, I didn't love the book, but I also didn't hate it. I also began watching the TV show, and it is exactly like the book. Like, I'm pretty sure they took it word for word. So if you don't want to read it, I think that uncarley loves a good, depressing, very problematic storyline, and she honestly does have some taste. I would highly recommend reading any of these books if they interest you. Some of these books I had no plans on reading for this video, but I am glad that I did. With that being said, bye girl bosses. Go drink some water, go read a book, go get some sleep. Do what you've been putting off.